or Google.
Whether it's Microsoft or Google,
So many people.
I mean so many people
That have really
hit big,
gone against it.
have gone against the
It may
tide.
seem like you
It may seem like you
have no chance.
have no chance.
It may seem like
It's over.
never,
Never
ever quit.
ever quit.
If you're a quitter,
If you're a quitter,
I hope you quit.
I hope you quit
Right now and
stop
Stop watching.
watching immediately. And people
that can
that can handle pressure
can be entrepreneurs,
can be entrepreneurs,
can be successful.
can be successful.
He's an American
He's an American businessman,
businessman,
politician,
and 45th
and 45
president of the
President of the United States of
States of America. As of
States of America. As of 2017,
Forbes listed him as
Forbes listed him
the 500
as the 544th
wealthiest person in the world,
wealthiest person in the
with
world
a net worth of
with a net worth of $3.5 billion.
His presidential
His presidential campaign received
unprecedented
unprecedented
media coverage
and international
attention.
attention.
Donald Trump, and
He's Donald Trump,
here's my take on
and here's my take
his top 10 rules
in his top 10 rules
Success,
for success.
Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Number 2 is my
Rule number 2
personal favorite.
is my personal favorite.
And I'm curious if you're growing.
And I'm curious
Which one
to figure out which
you guys like the best?
one you guys like the
Also,
best.
guys, as you're watching,
Also, guys,
if you hear something
as you are watching,
that really
if that really resonates
resonates with you,
please leave it
down in the comments below.
down in the comments
Put quotes
below.
around it so
Put quote so other people can be
other people can be
inspired by your sharing.
And also, when you write it
And also,
down,
when you write it
you're
down,
much more likely to
you are much more likely to
lock it in for
lock in for yourself
too. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
What would be one word of
What would be one word
advice you would have
advice you could
for an
have
upcoming
for an upcoming
businessman?
businessman
For a future businessman.
or for a future businessman?
Knowledge.
A woman knowledge.
But if it's one word,
But if it's one word,
one word's very hard for that.
one word's very hard for
But
that.
the word is knowledge.
But the word is knowledge.
But you get
knowledge
through experience.
through experience.
One of the things people talk about is
luck.
And I do believe
And I do believe
that people are lucky,
that people are lucky,
and some people are lucky.
and some people are luckier
than others. I
than
do-
others.
I do believe that.
Others, I do believe that.
But there's also an expression:
But there are also an
the harder-
expression: the harder
you work, the
you
luckier
work,
you get.
the luckier you get.
And I can tell you 10
And I can tell you 10
instances
instances where
I didn't quit.
I didn't quit.
It was
One, I was
1990,
the world is
Down,
coming
the debt.
down, the debt
markets with
markets were everybody
all of my friends and
All of my friends and
enemies were going
enemies were going
bankrupt. I never
bankrupt.
did.
I never did.
And the patrol,
And
the
the time was actually just
times
terrible.
were actually just terrible.
Time were actually just terrible.
And even today, you
And even today,
look at time
you look at times
and you see what happened.
and you see what
So you have to
happened,
learn.
and you have to learn.
But the word luck
But the word luck
is very interesting.
is very
But
interesting.
if I didn't
But if I didn't
work
work
really hard,
really hard,
I probably
I probably
would not,
would not,
almost definitely
almost definitely
would not be
would
here
not be here
today. And unless you had
and unless you
me up as a
had me up as man, as a
who
man,
at one
as man who at one point
point was successful.
was successful.
But let's see what
But let's see what
a loser
a lose looks
looks like. So you
So you have
have
to
to
work.
work hard
So you have to work hard
because it is true.
because it is true.
You can develop luck
You-
through hard.
You can develop luck through hard work.
Your first book,
Your first book,
The Art of the Deal,
The Art of the Deal,
begins with a
begins with a simple
simple sentence that many people might
sentence that many people might
find hard to understand.
find hard to understand.
You say,
You say,
I don't do it
I don't do it
for the money.
for the money.
Can you explain that?
You can you explain
Well,
that?
I do it because I love it.
Well, I do it because I
If I
love
didn't
it.
love it,
If I didn't love it,
I wouldn't do it. I have
I couldn't do it.
bad days. I have
I have bad days.
good days.
I have good days.
I have days somewhere in
I
the
have days somewhere
middle. But
in the middle, but
the end result
the end result
is I love
is I love
what I'm doing,
what I'm doing,
and I don't do it for the money.
and I don't do
And I
it
make
for the
money
money.
because-
And I make money
Because probably
because probably
I'm not doing it for the
I'm not doing
money. I do
it for money. I do it
it, and I do it well.
and I do it well.
I'm the biggest developer
I'm the biggest developer in New
in
York.
New York. I love building
I love building buildings.
buildings. I have a lot of fun
I have a lot of fun building
building
buildings.
The fact is,
The fact is,
I do it for
I do it for fun.
fun. I do it for
I do it for game.
game. I do it for sport.
I do it for sport.
I happen to make a lot
I happen to make a lot of
of money
money
doing it. If I didn't
doing it. If I didn't enjoy it,
enjoy it, if I didn't
enjoy
really
it. If I didn't really
love what I'm
it,
doing,
love what I'm doing,
I wouldn't be successful.
I couldn't be successful.
I wouldn't be sitting with you
I wouldn't be sitting with
You
today.
today.
And what's the implication of
What's the implication of
that
that
for someone watching
for someone
this who wants
watching this,
to create
who
greater
wants to create greater
wealth? That's
wealth?
the message.
Wealth. That's the message.
Well, the message
Well, the message is that. Well, the message is
is you have to
you have to learn what you
love
do.
what you do. If you
What
do
you do. If you do it
it for the money
for money alone,
alone, it's probably
alone,
not
it's probably
going to work.
not
I
going to work.
have friends where
I have friends
I tell them,
where I tell them,
get out of this business,
get out of this business,
which is a good business,
which is a good
and
business,
go into another business,
and go into another business,
which isn't as
which isn't as
good a
good
business,
a business,
because they like
because they like
the other business
the other business better.
better. They'll do better
They all do
in
better in
a less
a
good
less good
business, so to speak,
business, so to speak,
than they will
than they were
in the better
in the better
business because they
like
like
it.
Going against the tide
Going against the tide
is
is great.
if it worked.
If it works.
Now, it doesn't always
Now it doesn't
work.
always
and you
work.
really have
and you really have to,
to be smart to go against the tide.
against the tide,
Because you're going against
because you are going against
a lot of smart
a
people.
lot of smart people.
But when you get it
But when you get it right,
you'll end up better.
you'll end up better.
Whether it's Microsoft
Whether it's Microsoft
or Google,
or Google, I mean,
so many people
that
have really
hit
hit big
big
have gone against the
have gone against
tide.
the tide.
But you have to have great
But you have to have great
confidence in yourself.
confidence in yourself.
You have to be the
You have to be
right person.
the right person.
There are very few
There are very few people
that can pull it off.
that can pull it off. There are very few people that can pull it off.
But when you pull it
But when you pull it off,
it's great.
it's great.
Same thing in real estate.
Something in the world
You go
is that you go
against the tide.
against the tide.
People are selling.
People are selling,
You're buying.
you're buying.
The tide changes.
The tide changes.
Never,
Never, ever
ever give up.
give up.
Just keep
Just keep
going forward.
going forward.
Never stop.
Never stop. Just keep going forward. Never stop.
It may seem like
It may seem like you
you have no chance.
have no chance.
It may seem like it's
It may seem like
over.
it's
Never.
over.
never, ever quit.
Never ever quit.
If you're a quitter,
If you are
I hope
a quitter,
you quit right
I hope you quit right now.
now and stop watching.
Right now. I hope you quit right now and stop watching
Immediately
immediately
because you'll never make it.
because you'll never make it.
Now you own these incredible
Now you own these incredible
casinos
casinos
and hotels
and hotels
and the tower.
and the towers in New York
You're gonna build
City. You're going to build
This world's
this world's tallest
building
building now
in Television City.
in Television City.
When is enough
When is enough
for
or world
will Donald
Donald
Trump never
Trump
be satisfied
never be satisfied
with the
with the deal making and the
acquisitions?
acquisition.
Well, I'm like a lot of my friends.
Well, unlike a lot of my friends
From Houston.
from Houston,
Just keep chugging. I mean,
just keep charging.
all you can do is just
I mean, all you can do is just keep going.
Life is
Life
is sort of
Life
a
is sort of a pretty
pretty short experience.
experience.
and you have to
And you have to maintain
maintain some kind of
equilibrium
and
equilibrium.
the way I
And the way I
maintain that is to
maintain that is to work.
and I enjoy what I
And I enjoy what I do.
do.
I love what I do,
I love what I do, and I hope I do
and I hope I do it
it
well.
well.
I do
And
it
so I
well.
just keep
And so I just keep
going forward, Dan.
going forward then,
And it's so far
and it's so far
it's paid off. Are you
it's paid off.
smarter than most
Paid off. Are you smarter
people who would
than most people
call themselves
who would call themselves
entrepreneurs?
entrepreneurs?
You work harder? What
Do work harder?
is the deal with you anyway?
What is the deal with you
Well,
anyway?
that's an interesting question.
Well, that's an interesting question.
I don't know if anyone's
Interesting question.
ever asked me
I don't know if anyone
the question, am I
ever asked question myself.
smarter than other
Am I smarter
people? I think
than other people?
that without
I think that
a certain
without a certain I think that without a certain innate intelligence
and without a certain
and without a certain
drive, you're
drive,
not going to be
you're not going to be successful.
successful.
I have a friend
I have a friend who
was not successful
was not successful
at all,
but
was really up
were really up
and coming.
and coming.
And
And
he had a thing. He
he had a thing.
would only
He would only fly
fly first class.
first class.
I'm not saying do
I'm not saying do this
this because for
because for
somebody it won't work.
somebody it won't work.
But he needed that
But he needed that
mentally.
mentally. But he needed that mentally.
He wanted to fly
He wanted to fly
first class
first class
because mentally
because mentally
he wanted to think
he wanted to think
he was the best,
he was the best,
and that's it.
and that's it.
And even though he didn't
And even though
have much money
he
at the
didn't have much money
time, this
at
is
the time, this years ago,
years ago, he would
he would always fly.
always fly. I used to
He would
criticize him,
always fly. I used to
but it put him in
criticize, but it
a good state of mind.
put in a good state
And he became a
of
very,
mind,
very
and he became a very, very successful guy.
successful guy. Very, very successful.
Very, very successful.
And
And
I've always remembered
I've always
that he would
remembered
never fly
that I always remember that
a coach.
I would never fly
He would
coach.
always fly first
He would always fly
class, even though he didn't
first
have the means
class,
to fly.
even though he didn't have the means to fly.
So
So
look, it's complicated,
it's complicated,
but whatever it
but whatever it takes,
takes to train that.
but whatever it takes to
I've
train
always
that.
believed in
I've always believed in
positive thinking.
positive thinking.
At the same time,
At the same time,
I don't want to mislead.
I don't want to mislead.
I also believe
I also believe in
aspiring
aspiring
in terms of
in terms of
what you're doing,
what you're doing,
aspiring to protect
aspiring to protect
against
against
the downside.
the downside.
You can't just be this
You
wonderful
can't just be this wonderful
guy walking
guy
around. Everything's
walking around.
positive because
Everything is positive because
unfortunately that's
unfortunately
not the way the
that's not the way
world is.
the world is.
I love to tell
I love to tell
people to think
people to think. I love to tell people to think
about the
about the
challenges
challenges
so that when they do
so that when they do
come along,
you're ready.
Let's suppose that I have a
Let's suppose that I have a job,
but I have the feeling
but I have the feeling
that I want to start
that I want to start
my own business.
my own business.
How would I know
How would I know
that I'm the right
that I'm the right
kind of person
for the entrepreneurial
of
the entrepreneurial life?
To me, that's the best
To me, that's the best question
question you've asked, and it's
you've asked, and it's also
also the toughest.
tough.
Somebody has a family,
Somebody has a family,
has a job,
has a job,
they have a nice job,
they have a nice job,
they get X
they get X
dollars a week.
dollars a week.
They don't have to worry about
They don't have to worry about
it
very
much.
much.
It's not going to be great.
It's not going to be great.
They're not going to live in Palm
They're not going to live in Palm Beach.
You know what?
But you know what?
They have a job,
They have a job
and it's income
and it's income coming in.
The hardest thing
The hardest thing
to do, in
to
my
do,
opinion,
in my
business,
opinion, in business,
is to leave that job
is to leave that job
and become an entrepreneur.
and become an entrepreneur.
because you're risking
you're risking
your wealth,
your wealth,
risking your
you're risking your
family, your health,
your health,
your family's health.
your family's health.
You're really risking a
You're really risking a lot.
lot. You have
A
to
lot.
know
You have to know
in your gut
in your gut
whether or not you have it
whether or not you have it.
to be an entrepreneur.
Have it to be an entrepreneur.
Can you handle
Entrepreneur.
pressure?
Can you handle pressure?
Can you handle all of the
Can you handle all of the problems
problems that you're going to be confronted?
that you're going to be confronted with?
And there'll be many
And there will be many problems.
But the toughest
But the toughest
job that
but the toughest job
somebody has,
that somebody has,
in my opinion,
in my opinion,
in business, is
in business